What's happening? Got another update for you guys. So I've been trying to get all the buildings squared away on my HON3 of where to place them, how to place them, and all that. I finally came down to this configuration, but I also wanted the buildings to be mounted, so that way when I do scenery or other stuff, the semi-permanent and you don't have to worry about them moving around. I also decided I want them to have lit with a just semi interiors, nothing too fancy. So here's the Silverton station. So I'll show you what I did with this. So you can see my light setup. They're just aluminum tubes that are drilled through the bottom, and they've got these little. These are, I think, Faller. I bought a interior set that has a bunch of other stuff in it, and it came with these little light modules. I don't know if you can see, but it's basically you can hook it up to 12 volt DC or AC, and it'll work with either. So I have them just running down to my 12 volt power line that runs through. And this whole thing will actually, you can lift it out. There's just holes drilled in the bottom. And how I did that was because this is a Banta kit. And Banta's got solid floors. So I just used a Dremel with a wood cutoff wheel and cut the bottom out of this. You can see I did a quick interior on this just so when you look through the window you see something. This idea behind this is that when you put it, it'll lock in over the base, and you can see the light in there. So these lights are kind of blue, so I just got to get some of that Tamiya, the opaque paint that makes it orange. Well, it's actually orange, and that it makes it yellow. So I've done this with all the buildings here. This one's actually a Grant Line kit, and you can see this is part of the Faller interior set along with this. These are all done the same, so the interior lifts off, and then you can see the light. It's like a light post, and then the bottom was just cut out using that same saw with the Dremel, and as you can see, it just kind of goes on over. It gets located, and then it's there. Again, this is one of the Faller lighting, so I'm probably gonna have to change it out, or not change it out, but put the Tamiya paint over it to make it a little more yellow. This is also another Grant kit that I built a while back, and it's done the same way. And all these still have the roofs that I can remove. I haven't glued them down or anything. I was probably going to put magnets or something. Here's the Banta. It's the Silver Plume, I believe, bakery. This one's a little trickier, and you can see I built an interior when I originally built it out of scrap wood. You can see the counters there, and then again, that's more of the Faller little items. So the roof on this one is removable. I also cut the bottom out. Then I built this arm that basically this thing, you pull it up and you can swing it, and then you can still do this with one hand. You can still get the model off. So these actually used the micro SMD LEDs. I think these are 603s. There's just two of them. They're the warm white. And then what I've started using are these DC to DC converters. These things are great. I mean, they're 99 cents a piece on eBay. It's got a little rheostat. You can see the silver there, so you can dial it down to your voltage. Basically, you just put your voltage in up here, which is 12 volt, and then it's got prongs for your output, and it's got double outputs. I buy them. They come out of China. As you can see, here's one that's not soldered up. But yeah, just search DC to DC converter on eBay, and it usually takes about a week or so for them to get there. You can see here's my oil tin. So this one's a little different. So it lifts off. I built it this way so I could still do an interior, which I still need to do. But you can see it still has the same kind of setup. I got to put a second story floor in there. But same thing, it's drilled through this aluminum pipe, used as a conduit. And then there's the DC to DC adapter. And then this one I used much bigger LEDs. I think these are Minitronics makes them pre-wired. I can't remember what size they are, but you can buy them in like a 6-pack. I use them for a lot of locomotive lighting as well. Oh, the other thing I did too on the standard gauge is I put this section in over here. It actually lengthens my yard. It probably gives another 2 cars lengths. You can see the new track over there. Just had some extra track laying around because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with over here. So I think I may just make this into maybe another building over here and a big parking lot. The other thing I've done is that display cabinet. It used to be a lot lower. It was probably about down to here. I didn't like that, so I raised it up even higher. It gives a lot more room to get in and out of here. The next thing I'm going to do is there's a round table kit out there that's made in England. It's a wood, and it's a laser cut wood kit of the Durango turntable. They're about $100 shipped, and it's a 10-inch, and you can see I've got it laid out there as a 10-inch circle. So I'm probably going to have, there's a support under here, probably have to cut all that out, and it's going to be super tight. I may build a little hump out here just so that I can get it in there, because I've always wanted a turntable, and from what I'm seeing on this website, it looks like a nice kit. Plus 2, then I don't have to go around and lift up locomotives if I want to spin them around. So definitely a plus. And then the only other thing is I'm getting ready to do scenery coming up. So I got these pictures of the area. Just helps when you start to do scenery to kind of place what you want to place. So this is kind of a rough mix between Silverton and then Chama. I'm just taking the structures that I like and kind of blending them together. And then here's just talking about that faller kit. This is what it looks like. It's just a bunch of these, and then there's actually a bunch of shells as well that it comes on. So I've just been painting these and sticking it in there. And then all my signs, I just printed them on a self-adhesive paper. And I've got a laser color printer. And there's a guy on the Model Railroad forums that made all these, and super nice. You can download them for free, and you just resize them. And that's what I've been using for all the interior posters as you can see, like in all the shops. This one's even got one on the outside. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get some scenery here pretty soon. I like to do this yard, and then all the way over to the station. That's kind of my goal, to get that in there. Just got to put maybe a road crossing in, either right here or on the other side. Still haven't figured that one out. But other than that, that's about all I've been doing. This has taken me a couple days of getting all the lighting. Oh, and the way I tie in my lighting, you can see I just use the suitcase connectors, and then you can see the tube come down for the wiring. Pretty much do this, and this is my 12-volt accessory bus. You can see there's the track line right there, and then this is probably the easiest way I found to do it. Yeah, soldering would be nicer and more permanent, but this is so much easier instead of trying to have to go under and try and solder every connection. So that's a pain. So anyways, the other thing I was going to do was maybe start putting a coat of paint on these backdrops, just to get an idea of what it's going to look like. I don't know if I'm going to paint them or maybe try and use one that pre-printed, but those are pretty expensive. So anyways, just thought I'd give you guys an update. See ya.